Hello everyone, welcome back to Gaming with Shoggoths. We are at Zaluki Park and we are taking a look at the Coelodonta, aka the woolly rhino. Now of course this is not the fabulous enclosure that I built for this video, but the reason why I'm here right now is because we are just going to take a real quick look at the different skins, since we didn't get to do that in the original preview episode that I did when Early Access came out. But their enclosure, which is a giant dome, kind of has, weird lighting because it is a dome and you get all the crossing of the beams and everything. And it looks, well, not looks bad, but it's hard to see with all the shadows and everything. So I thought we would take a look at these guys in a more well-lit area, and then we will transport them into their dome so you can see what they're like in their new habitat. There are 3 skins for the Coelodonta. It's all the same subspecies, which is the Antiquitatis, I think. Yes, Antiquitatis. Tatis. Something like that. Alright, so this is the darkest one, and there's not a huge amount of variation with them because they are, they're herd animals, and they tend to all look similar, so they're blending in with each other. But these are the brown ones. This is the female. That last one was the male. And then we've got these guys. We're kind of like the blonde bombshell woolly rhinos here. But yeah, I really love how these guys look. They look great, and that fur is looking really good. Let's see what the female. I think the female is a little bit lighter. Yeah, it's a little bit kind of like slightly more to the white fur than the blonde. The females are a little bit smaller than the males for these guys. All right, and then this is the third skin, which is kind of, it's almost like a mix between the other 2 skins. Just gonna sit there in the water, aren't you? Look at these guys. They're so cool. I really like them. I love watching their ears. Like that exactly, like the individual ear movements and all that kind of stuff. They're so cute. I like them. All right, and then we've got, this is the female, also hanging out in the water. It's glad you guys aren't drowning or anything. Again, lighter fur. Those horns, look at those horns. I'm really glad that we have, like, this sort of variety in the game. It's really cool, and it just makes for neat environments that we can build, and that is what we're going to do right now. We're going to get these guys back into their enclosure, and I'm going to jump into the speed build for this video. And so I will see you in just a second. Alright, hello! I almost started my intro because I'm usually starting the intro at this point with the speed build, but you've already gotten an intro to the Coelodontus by this point. So today we are going to build a dome, finally, right? I keep talking about trying to build a dome. I definitely have to preface this with many thanks to other YouTubers who are way better at this stuff than I am, like Evolution Square, Best in Slot, and a couple others that I've seen just from watching videos where they make domes. Evo, obviously, in Prehistoric Kingdom. The Best in Slot one that I saw, it's one of his older videos from Planet Zoo where he builds that big giraffe dome in like his Africa park. Like, I always loved that one, and that was really cool, so that was kind of one I watched too. I mean, obviously it's not the same game, but the games have a lot of the same principles. But anyways, like, it's actually really simple once you know what you're doing, and quite frankly it was easier than some of the other things that I had done in this park, including a staircase that you'll see later that is absolutely cursed. Well, you won't see the cursed version, you'll see the fixed version, but even the fixed version I'm not entirely happy with. So right now I had the creatures kind of that are going to be, they're not all going to be in the dome together, but these are the 3 creatures that I'm making domes for. The Coelodonta, the woolly mammoths, and the Pachyrhinosaurus. So I just wanted to have, like, make sure at least the base dome that I make is, like, tall enough and big enough for them. But what I basically did was made a small-ish dome, and then using the different things to resize the dome that are available through the tools, then I will make, you know, a bigger, more appropriately sized dome. But kind of starting with it small makes it more usable for a lot of different things. Plus, it makes it a little bit easier to make because you're doing a little bit less copying. And then I'm just kind of putting a cap on it. That was a glass top there, and then just made this kind of beam to kind of make that top look a little better. We'll get some cross beams going on, and then we will put a little cap in the center to kind of cap off our dome. That's basically just a lot of, like, you know, repeating and copying around in a circle. But we'll get these beams in here. We'll get a little nub on top, like a little button top. Pop that on there, and then we've got our dome. Now, one thing I did do on the inside, now I could have done this beforehand, and you know, that would have been smart too, but I did add like a platform using the same technique where you just copy it over and then copy both pieces in a circle. And it worked out really well, except that I regret having done that with the fence on there. The fence looked way out of proportion. This is me just screwing around with the tool just to show you what you can do with it. But so now I'm making the dome much bigger. I obviously don't need it to be so tall, but what I wanted is more area. So I made it a big round circle, and then I flattened it. And there you go. And you can see that it has a similar size to the Smilodon enclosure next to it, while, you know, having a completely different shape and feel to it. And I wanted to make sure that they had a big enough area, but it didn't need to be as tall as it was, you know. And that's the cool thing about the tools in this game, is that you can make something wide, and then you can also flatten it if it looks out of whack, like proportionately. So, and that's pretty much what I did. And here, you're going to see a little tweaking where I I totally deleted everything, and then I was like, wait, no. And so I could have just hit back. I don't know why I didn't do it on that particular part. But so I was just like, screw it, and copied it all back. Exactly how it was. All right, so right here, we're just adding on like a little, you know, a maintenance area for these guys, and you know, just kind of a place for them to have some shelter, a place for them to be put when the keepers need to like be in the cage. We did kind of skip over a bit, which is like the rest of the entrance area. I built a viewing area there, but what's there right now, it was kind of just a rough thing, so I had the dimensions and everything. So we'll go, and the cursed staircases over there. So you might see little blips of it, but it's going to change completely for the final product, and I'll have the full speed build part of that later in the video in just a little bit. But right now we're going to focus on the actual living area for our woolly rhinos. We're just gonna make the whole inside look like rocks, so we're in a rocky caving area. And then we'll get them some water, and I'm gonna make a waterfall fixture here. I had a little bit of technical difficulty, so you won't see all of the water being added in, but that's like not the end of the world. I did have a really funny moment because lately I've been building on pause, and I don't usually do that. But because I have this endless parade of guests, and I can't seem to get them to stop coming into the park, even if I delete the entrance, they're still everywhere. But so I had everything on pause, and then I was trying to place waterfall effects, and like they were just showing up, and they were like invisible. Like you had the grid, you know, like where the grid would have been if you were placing an item, but the water wasn't there. It took me forever to realize it's because I had it on pause, so the water wasn't moving. Little, you know, yeah, I was just like, I cannot believe that I'm that dumb that I was like, why isn't the water showing up? Yeah, because it's an animated thing, and you're on pause, and yeah. So I had a good laugh at my expense on that. Good times. So now we're basically just decorating the enclosure. Like definitely, you know, since this is like a wintry, cold, ice agey kind of thing, you know, you would have like all your winter greens, your evergreen trees and stuff like that. The ones that survive winter, you know, very well and thrive in the winter. But I felt like you'd also have like big, like dead trees or trees that have shed their leaves for the winter, or for the entirety of the Ice Age, whichever portion of, you know, we're in weather-wise. But yeah, just, you know, basic, normal decorating of things, rocks, trees, bushes, you know, my standards. I like putting down the hay, you know. I imagine eventually that's actually going to be more of like a trigger point for them, like the food is, like that'll be somewhere that they go. But I also like putting it down because even like with all of the environmental stuff, with all the bushes and everything, I think it still looks nice to have those little hay piles, because then you can be like, look, this is the gentle cushioned area that we've given, you know, our animals. And apparently I'm noticing this now, and I'm not entirely sure why I didn't cut this all out, but since I'm talking over it, I guess we'll keep it anyways. But apparently I put down a bunch of trees and deleted them several times, and I don't really remember doing it that much, but I guess I did. Definitely taking advantage of the tree brush and the bush brush for, you know, this game, with being able to select, you know, 4 or 5 different bushes, so you get nice little clumps of variety everywhere. And then we obviously carry that theme outside in front. I wanted it to kind of look like, you know, like the dome was set back in a forest. I thought about putting not evergreens, but the redwoods, but the redwoods aren't really the right, I mean, they're not part of the boreal climate decorations and stuff, and redwoods are kind of more coastal anyways. So like a lot of these trees and stuff we have where I live, because I live in Colorado, and that's kind of a, you know, we've got the lower plains and then we've got the colder mountainous areas. So a lot of this stuff is the kind of stuff, you know, you might see where I am, and we definitely don't have redwoods, but we definitely have all these different kind of like evergreen trees and stuff like that. So I want kind of the redwoods would have been a neat thing because they're taller than the building since they're so big, but I didn't feel like that was the right look, so I just went with the evergreens. So this is the new and improved entrance that I'm building. I saved you guys from having to see the horrible one that I put down as just a placeholder. Although, I mean, I'm still not 100% sold on this. As always, things may change in the future, but it grows on me more and more as I look at it. But it's just, I don't know. It could be better, could be worse. When I made the dome, I wasn't thinking about this part, so. But we're just trying to make like a nice viewing area, so when you walk in, you know, you get your first look at the creatures in here. And just gonna be like a mesh netted area. We'll get some little viewing binocular things, and some snacks and some information also in this area. And then, you know, of course they will walk up the stairs and be able to walk around the whole dome. Just get some support. I need to figure out a way to make the mesh blend into the top of the dome, but so far I haven't come up with a great one. But you know what? I definitely don't look up very much. So for now, it'll probably just stay as it is. So this is me building the staircase. This is the not abomination staircase, in case you need clarification. And I say that only because this one's not that great either. I definitely like it better than the one that I had, but I've mentioned before that the doors in this game I'm not all that thrilled about, and the next thing that I'm not all that thrilled about is the stairs, the pre-done stairs they have for you. And honestly, making your own stairs isn't like that great either. So I don't know. I hope like in the future some improvements come to their stair system, because it is lacking. And I don't think the options that we have are all that great. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a stairwell, but I wanted to keep it so that you could still have the view. Like, I didn't want there to be like a slab of concrete here, especially after I made this whole viewing area. So I wanted it, you know, the enclosure to be viewable from the stairs, but without it looking like too weird and awkward. And I don't know. I sort of succeeded, I guess. If you're this far into the video and you're watching this part of the speed build, let me know what you think of the staircase when it's done. Give me your thoughts. Like, be honest. You know, if you think it looks like crap, tell me, because I don't necessarily think it looks like the best thing ever, but it's okay. Maybe by the time I get to the other side of the dome, I'll have a better, you know, a better idea for staircase. But it's just the curve of the wall and everything, and then trying to use square stairs, and yeah, it was a little weird. But basically, what I'm gonna do, that you'll see in a minute, is I'm gonna make like planters around it, so like it doesn't just look like a gray concrete like block. I'm gonna add planters, so it just kind of breaks it up a little, and then it looks like you're walking around like these little planters. It kind of reminds me of a museum that we have here where I live, and but you know, in the museum it'd be like fake plants, but it does kind of remind me of an area in one of the museums we have where you kind of just walk up around like all these fake plants and stuff. But I don't know, like I said, it's okay. It's definitely better than what I had. What I had was terrible. And no, you'll never see it. It was an abomination, but it was just to make sure the guests could get up there, and so I could see what it was like having guests up there. But I do think this, like, I like this idea, and I'll probably use it on future staircases. I just like, you know, straight staircases are so much easier to build around. But I feel like in the end, you know, it definitely looks better than what I had, so that's all that matters. Now we're making some signs. And if you saw there, like I was putting the letters together flat on the ground, and it's so much easier that way. And then you can just use like the angle snap to and then rotate it up, straight up, and then resize it and stuff like that. And then you can use like the surface snap to put it up like wherever you want it on your signs, your walls. And I think that's a much easier way to make your lettering. Before, like when I first started playing this, I was just kind of having it float in the air, and that just doesn't work. But if you have it so that it's snapping to the ground, you know, and you can just zoom them right next to each other and copy it next to each other, copy it next to, you know. And that's basically what I'm doing. Like you can see, like I place it and then I copy it, pick the next letter, slide it over, place it, copy it, slide it over, you know, just like that. And it's so much faster. Although sometimes, you know, when you make really long sentences, it's still, nothing's fast enough. But yeah, so we are getting to the end of the speed build here, and just gonna like add some final decorations onto the sign, and then we will be in the speed build. Although I thought it was coming up right now, but it's not. Oh yeah, we gotta add some plants in and some decoration. I really hope that we get more stuff for sign building. We basically, as far as sign building goes, we just basically have letters. And that's it. Which, I mean, in a game like this, you know, most of the idea is to build a lot of your own stuff. But I just think having some stuff for signs would be really great. All right, we are going to finish up a little bit of decorations and then pop into the walkthrough right now. All right, we are back outside the finished dome area for our climate-controlled region. I've got the boreal theme continuing out here, as well as the planters from over there. I'm going to have some sort of transition or something in between. Like I said, planning on like putting a restaurant or something there. But yeah, we'll go in and take a look. Now that I'm looking at this from the outside, I think maybe I need to put some like awnings or something over this entrance. Like it seems just a little bit plain. All right, so this is our sign in our entry viewing area. I was hoping maybe I should put more feeders over here other than just this one, but I was really hoping that they would kind of congregate over here. Oh, wait, no, there's one. I thought he was a rock. But I do want, like, I kind of would love for them to hang out here so that way they can kind of be seen. Got our snacks and drinks and the staircase that I'm not completely won over by, but I feel like compared to what I had previously, it's all right. It's a few of our guys running around there, or well, not running, ambling at a stately pace. I wish we could have like little sparrows or something, or little cardinals flying around. Cardinals would be cool. They would match the theme. Got our waterfall. Oh, our guys are going for a swim. Now you're just gonna sit there and stare at that waterfall, aren't you? He's just like, yep, that's a waterfall. Over here, I did not have this in the speed build because I wasn't entirely sure what I was doing until I did it. But I mean, obviously I will take this grading down. It's just to kind of keep them from going over there at the moment. This is kind of like our, oh, construction area kind of thing. Under construction, coming soon. Should put like yellow things across it. But basically I just kind of put like just enough space in between the two domes so that we could kind of like build just a little short hallway connecting thing between them. And I just tried to keep it with the theme and everything so it looks like, you know, almost as if it's just one huge building all connected. And I will be moving the third dome so that's in a similar position and then doing the same thing. But I'm going to do this stuff later. That's for another video. I do kind of need to finish decorating this area. Apparently one of my trees disappeared. I don't know why. Happens sometimes. It was probably attached to something it shouldn't have been and got deleted. Yeah, I should decorate this more. I basically just put this here just so you couldn't see, you know, the utility building and kind of like the utility area. It's kind of the view from the other side. I like how this turned out. Like, I'm happy with it. You know, the only thing I'm not happy with the dome is just like, just how some of this stuff upscaled. And I should have known better, and I should have just waited to put that stuff in until later when I was done building the dome. But other than that, I really like how it turned out. I think this whole area will be neat as one like connected area that everyone can walk through. And then what I am planning is that you would be able to walk through all three of these and come out the end of the third one, and then you'd be able to come down and like cross over the river or something like that and go on to other enclosures on the other side of the river. And of course you would have access to the other side of the river on this side too, but it would just be neat so that way it's not like you're walking all the way to the end of the enclosure and then you have to walk all the way back. You know, you can go out through the third one and then you can continue on to other parts of the park. Zoom around down here for a minute. But yeah, like all in all, I like it, and this will be fun. I'm glad I finally decided to, you know, try out a dome. Like I knew how to do it in principle, just copying everything around in a circle, but I never actually tried it. I was a little nervous, not like nervous, but you know what I mean. Like, you're always like, oh, I'm gonna screw it up. And quite frankly, building the dome was way easier than half the other stuff I did in this enclosure, including the staircase. So domes, not so hard. All right, that is going to do it for this episode. As always, I appreciate you checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And if you did, please do leave a like. Subscribe if you want to see more. I'll be back with more Prehistoric Kingdom and Zaluki Park version 2.0 real soon. Until then, have a good one.